Okay, so this next question is, I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Honus Barrett, and I'm not sure how to even operate here without entering into an energetic war of back and forth every time I step outside and begin to interface with the environment of the beings around me. Should I trek towards the equator? I will say for sure that, the equator seems to kind of be more balanced. I guess that's just a no-brainer anyway with the whole thing. It's like the closer you're on the line. However, sometimes the training is just more rigorous for the kind of beings that we are, meaning for you to go through the experience and for you to actually learn something from all of this based on your level of awareness. You could be an old soul. You may need to be in more extreme conditions or more extreme elements in order to ultimately gain a level up from this entire experience. So when you can walk outside then and you don't find yourself locked into that back and forth, then that could be the benchmarker or the compass for you to realize that you've actually now been able to achieve what you've set out to do here in this planet. So always make this serve you is what I'm saying. Always make these experiences and these lessons, these teachers, etc., make it serve you. Make it work for you. Don't get into it where you're like, I can't do this anymore. Because what happens is that once you make it serve you, you get a chance to see across the vista really fast and how it's really actually a benefit for you to actually be in a space at that particular point as a certain operative, bringing across a certain type of energy, and that you would be the only person that would be calibrated to be able to do something like that. This is what I have realized when I just asked the question to the higher self, all there is, why I was even teaching this knowledge and why me instead of, and I would even think in my mind, maybe there were other people more qualified to actually do this. And what it explained to me is basically that you're there because of these experiences you've already been through. And the people that you're going to be talking to are people that need somebody that actually has gone through these experiences in order to actually be able to harmonize with where they're at. And so there it is. And so finding where the power is and what is being presented to us and overcoming the challenge. This next question is what happens when beings see you attempting to obtain and maintain balance and they choose to war with you and hold you down? What should I do? It's better to just understand what's actually going on. What's going on, as I mentioned before, is that there is a retrograde to everything that, like your intentions, what you want to do, what you aspire to do, there's another force that is created right when you aspire to do that, that is like a shadow of that, that literally is attempting to stop you from doing that. This is resistance, if you may. And that's why a lot of this is resistance training. So you end up learning how to deal with that other side of your consciousness, which is necessary. It's necessary as the fertilizer in the ground. But don't be surprised if you're dealing with some shit. And what will happen is that you have to take it, learn how to take it through this cultivation process and take it through an alchemical process and distill it. The people who taught me the lessons in my life, even the people who may have chastised me or had to check me, I may have not liked it at that moment, but as I grew, it helped me. It refined me. So this is that same thing. It's about, well, again, since the question is what happens when beings see you attempting to obtain and maintain balance and they choose to war with you, it's about realizing that this is the anti-force and I need to learn how to harmonize that force. And there are several techniques. Not paying attention. Remove yourself from the space. Seeing why that keeps showing up in your environment. Sometimes it could be your music. Sometimes it could be the TV, the shows that you're watching. And it's not allowing you to get out of this feedback loop of presenting to you the same thing that you don't want to see. The dreams are like that. Take this out of the context of just the hood, the streets, wherever you're at, whatever situation you're dealing with physically, and see how oftentimes the subconscious through the dream presents the worst case scenario for us. And it becomes very disturbing to go through that process. And you wake up and say, man, how can I stop having these bad dreams? And I commend my brother Sven for coming forward in his dream group and taking everybody through that process and what he learned also from the Toltec dreaming, and that's how to cleanse out. The same thing the woman is doing has to do with her womb at times, as we mentioned earlier with the Tantra, is the same thing that our mind, which is also a womb, it has to be flushed out and cleaned out sometimes and taken through a process where you start removing a lot of those distortions that are causing and are basically just no longer serving in that place. Everything has its place, even if it's just as a lesson.